자, 오늘 해볼 게임 슬레이더프린세스. 이게 출시 자체는 10월 23일 작년 2023년 10월 23일에 출시를 했는데 한국어판이 없어요. 한국어판이 없었는데 얼마 전에 이 팬 번역으로 그 한국어판이 나왔다고 해서 제가 그 한국어판을 가져왔는데 일단 스팀 평가로는 굉장히 압도적으로 긍정적이라고 하고 되게 명작이라고 하더라고요. 그래서 일단 호러 어드벤처 게임이라는데 한번 들어가 보도록 합시다. 시작! 챕터 1 공주와 영웅.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
왜? 왜 멸망하는데? 잠깐만 뭐야 선택지 너무 많아. 뭐야 멸망? 그게 무슨 소리지? 애초에 공주를 가둬놨기 때문에 공주가 세상을 끝장내려 하는 거 아니야? 아무리 그래도 공주를 죽이다니 너무 심하지 않아? 나 말고 다른 사람에게 맡길 수는 없는 거야? 됐어, 난 안 할래. 내가 세상이 끝장난다고 해도 신경 쓰지 않을 거란 가능성은 생각 안... 오야 이거 진짜 너무 많은데? 여기 중에서 하나 고르라고? 조용히 오두막에 간다도 있네? 야... 공주를 죽여야 된다는 생각... 딱 말을 들었을 때? 일단 왜 멸망하는지... 왜 멸망해?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have...
하나하나 다 물어볼 수 있는 거야? 약간 순서가 바뀌었네 또? 그 말에 증거가 있어?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
해설자라기보단 날 되게 설득하고 있는데? 공주가 왜 위험한지 설명하지 않는다면 난 죽이지 않겠어.
She's not dangerous. She's just a princess. The danger comes if she gets out, which she will unless you do something about it.
아까 선택지 중에 그거 있잖아. 나 왜 내가 해야 되나 그거를. 일단 오두막에 가서 공주와 대화해보겠어. 만약에 정말 공주가 네 말대로 생각하다면 내가 공주를 죽일지도 모르지. 하지만 직접 만나보기 전엔 아무것도 단정지을 생각 없어. 공주 자체가 나쁘진 않을 거야. 대화를 하나마나 공주 자체가 나쁠 것 같진 않고 그 탈출하는 과정에서 큰일이 난다고 하니까 보상 같은 건 없냐? 내가 세상이 끝장난다고 해도 신경 쓰지 않을 거라 생각은 됐어, 난 안 할래. 나 말고 다른 사람에게 맡길 수 없는 거. 알겠다.
Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules. I have to say I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
좋아, 그럼 공주가 탈출하면 어떻게 되지? 자세한 설명이 필요해.
The more specifics you have, the harder it will be for you to do this very important job. She's a princess. People will listen to her, because listening to her is in their nature. And when they do, everything will come crashing down.
일단은 갑시다. 조용히 오두막.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
근데 여기 나오는 선택지가 되게 많은 건 좋다. 진짜 약간 진짜 사람이 들 법한 생각? 들 법한 생각들 웬만한 건 다 저 선택지 안에 있는 것 같아. 딱 저 말을 들었을 때 들 법한 생각들.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
일단 그럼 나부터 마음을 먹고 가야겠는데? 죽일 건지 살릴 건지? 진짜로 내가 죽일 거라면 공주가 뭔 개수작을 해도 내가 그냥 안 믿어주고 그냥 죽여버리면 되는 거고. 근데 살린다고 하면은 어떻게 탈출시켜볼 방법은 없는 건가? 없게 만들어 놨겠지 게임을?
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
죽여야 되는 건가? 오두막이 들어간다.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
일단 정은 안 들었으니까 그냥 죽여볼게요. 땅감을 가져간다.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
지하실에 들어갔다.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
아니야. 죽일 건데 정들면 안 돼. 대화하지 마. 그냥 계단 내려갔다.
Good. You're still listening to reason.
그러니까 일단은 해설자의 말대로 가고 있는 거죠.
And lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
결의를 굳히고 다가간다.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
못 죽일 건 뭐 있니?
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
아무런 궁.
So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
자비란 없다.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh, this is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago. But is it over? Really over?
물론이지. 공주는 죽었어.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
떠난다.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a
뭐야?
lush forest stood mere minutes ago,
뭐야? 해설자 네가
the
죽이면
only thing in
된다며.
front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
다음 시도 때는 해설자도 믿지 말아야겠구만.
What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
누가 행복하다는 거야? 억울하기만 하구만. 세상을 구한 거 치고 결말이 영 별론데.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward.
개 같은 모상이구만.
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
나 이제 다음부터 너 말 안 믿을 거야.
Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
해설자 말 못 들었어? 난 행복해. 우리는 행복해. 뭐야? 가스라이팅 당한 거야? 뭐야? 당연히 아니지. 여기서 나갈 방법이라도 있어? 나갈
I
방법이 있니?
do, but you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this.
뭐야? 자살해야 돼?
I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out.
참네.
Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end.
아니, 원더풀 플레이스가 아니야.
Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
단검을 사용하면 우리가 죽는 거 아니야? 이 지옥에서 나갈 수만 있다면요. 그러니까 여기 가로 안에 있는 탐색 붙는 선택지는 다 약간 좀 한번 떠보는 거구나. 탐색이 없는 거면은 그냥 진짜 완전히 선택을 하는 거고. 우리가 죽는 거 아니니?
How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense, we die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore?
그렇긴 해.
This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to
아니,
be
너 조용히 해, 설자 너. 고작 니 확실한 거겠지? 우리가 진짜 죽으면 별로 기분이 좋지 않을 것 같은데. 고작 네 감에 죽음까지 감수할 생각은 없어. 이 지옥에서. 우리가 진짜 죽으면 별로 기분이 좋지 않을 것 같은데.
If we die, you can yell at me all you want.
죽었는데 어떻게 화를 내니?
I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An
don't 조용히 해,
eternity of bliss? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs.
야, 그렇다고 해설 대충 하지는 마. 준내 빨리 해설하네.
The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it.
마냥 화났는데? 해설자.
You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
챕터 2. 그러네. 챕터로 돼
You're on
있었지.
a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
뭐야? 그럼 어떻게 되는 거야? 아니, 루프한 게 아니라 챕터가 넘어가 버린 거잖아. 그럼 새로운 이야기가 아니라 근데 왜 또 반복이야, 얘기는? 뭐야?
You're here to slay her. If you don't,
일단 세이브 한 번만 할게요. 이 개자식 기자야겠다. 네 속인 순서 더 이상 소용없어. 끔찍한 데자뷰가 느껴지는데. 잠깐, 이거 일어났던 일 아니야? 야, 이거 진짜 선택이 어렵다. 어쨌든 그럼 공주를 죽이지 않는 쪽으로 가봅시다. 이번엔. 그러면 해설자 말을 들으면 안 되는 거니까 해설자랑은 대화를 조금 웬만하면 하지 않도록 하겠어요. 돌아서서 떠난다도 있는데? 돌아서서 떠난다.
Do you think there's something else out there? All right. Let's see what we can find. It's bound to be more interesting than doing the same thing. Oh. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
길이 없으면 만들면 되지! 저 알았다고 오두막에 가서 공주하세요. 죽이지 마지, 그때 가서. 거짓말로 그래, 길 알아. 걔너 밖으로 아니? 아무튼 네가 가라는 곳엔 가잖아. 나는 세상이 끝나도 상관없어. 우리의 것이 아닌 새로운 세상을 기꺼이 받아들이겠어. 당장 반대 방향으로 걸 거야. 이걸로 갈게요. 새로운 세상을 기꺼이 받아들이겠어.
There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing forever. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
해설자 이 새끼.
Oh, how quaint. He really wants us to go in there, doesn't he?
어차피 어딜 가도 계속 오두막은 튀어나올 것 같으니까.
That's
오두막
great
갑시다.
to hear. As long as you bring that fiery attitude to princess slaying, I think this will all resolve splendidly. Oh well. Cabin it is. The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odour of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge.
거울은 가구가 아니니?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
거울에 다가간다.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
거울을 닦는다. 밖에 없네.
Reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
모르지 나는.
But there was a mirror a second ago. And now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying over it. Clearly it's not even important enough to be acknowledged.
당근 가져가지 맙시다.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
단검 안 가져가서 그런지 얘 되게 풀죽게 읽는데요.
The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body, lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain.
이미 죽어 있으면서 왜 죽여야 된다고 날 데리고 온 거야?
Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor.
갑자기 튀어나오지 마세요.
Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here?
진짜로 무슨 일이야?
Ghost!
끄스트.
Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying.
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
복수라도 하려고?
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even need a blade. She looks.
상황을 지켜본다.
I see you don't have that annoying knife anymore. So, does that mean you regret what you've done? Are you here to apologize and make nice? Beg for absolution, maybe?
와, 근데 그럼 이거 정말 루트가 엄청 많겠네요.
Because I might be interested in seeing a little begging.
널 죽였을 텐데 왜 아직도 살아있지? 왜 되살아나는지 알고 있어? 되살아난 건 아니지 않나 이거? 피해자 연기는 그만해. 지난번 넌 날 위협했잖아. 지난번에 널 죽여서 미안해. 그러지 말았어야 했어. 내가 죽기를 원해? 네 눈앞에서 죽어주면 그 복수에 대한 집착이 만족되겠어? 난 이미 죽어봤고 다시 죽는 것도 어렵잖아. 미안해. 내가 해줄 수 있는 일이 있을까? 네가 죽기를 바라는 자들이 날 속였어. 적의 적은 내 친구지. 같이 협력하자. 이거 괜찮은데? 야, 와, 너무, 와. 야, 이거 다 제가 여러분들 선택지 다 읽어드리기도 힘들 정도로 너무 많은데요? 내게 뭘 원하는 거지? 널 또 만나게 될 줄 알았다면 널 죽이지 않았을 텐데. 저건 아니야. 나도 죽었는데 너처럼 떠나지 않아. 어떻게 된 거지? 왜 너와 나는 다르지? 넌 죽었잖아. 최소한 대부분은 죽었지. 근데 그럼 네가 날 해칠 수 있겠어? 내가 널 죽인 직후에 이 오두막이 순간이동했다고 해야 하려나? 그냥 그 이후에 어떤 일이 있었다. 약간 좀 아무래도 내가 널 죽이기 위해 보내진 이유를 알려줘야겠군. 난 네가 세계를 멸망시킬 거라 들었어. 이것도 나쁘지 않은데? 그냥 진짜 솔직하게 쟤네가 죽이래. 해설자가 죽이래. 난 네가 세계를 멸망시킬 거라 들었어. 뭐가 다른 거야? 좋아. 아무래도 널 죽이는 건 내가 원하는 게 봐. 더 이상 좋은 생각이 없는데 우리 팀에 아이디어 있어? 넌 죽었잖아. 그럼 할 수 있는 것도 별로 없겠네. 난 그냥 갈게. 좋아. 더 이상 할 얘기는 없고 가서 단검을 가져오지. 저걸로 갑시다. 저거. 아무래도 내가 널 죽이기 위해.
And what? You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over. She's
넌
right.
물리적으로 차갑다고
But
지금.
that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's try not to let emotion get the better of it.
내 말은 세상을 멸망시킬 거야? 내 질문에 답하지 않았잖아. 세상을 멸망시킬 거야? 난 차갑지 않아. 난 그냥 멍청이야. 바보 같은 등신 멍청이라고. 그 말을 믿다니 내가 왜 그랬지? 선생님 개웃기네 이거. 위로 갈게요. 내 말은 세상을 멸망시킬 거야?
I don't know. I just wanted to leave. I still just want to leave.
네가 나갈 수 있게 도와주면 뭘 할 생각이지?
I don't know. Maybe I'll just fade away. Finally able to rest once I'm free from my unfinished business. Maybe I'll haunt you. It's a tough question, asking someone what she's going to do with her life.
The princess leans in close and pauses, the frigid air between you stale and unmoving.
Especially when it's someone that's dead.
She pulls back with a playful giggle.
I don't think most living people could answer that either. Does anyone actually know who they are or what they want?
할 수 있는 말이 이거 하나밖에 없는데 굳이 이 말을 하고 싶진 않아요. 돌아온다. 아, 돌아오는 게 이렇게 돌아오는 거야? 네가 죽기를 바라는 자들을 날 속였어. 저게 저건 내 친구지. 같이 프렌드 하자.
Okay. I didn't want to be open to the idea, but there's no denying it now. You've clearly been here before. Oh. What tipped you off? Was it the corpse? Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that nobody tricked you. I've done nothing but give you wholly accurate information, and I'm sure whatever version of me you met in whatever other world you came from gave you accurate information as well.
사실에 네 주관에 섞지 마. 그게 어떻게 해요? 행복한 행복한 엔딩이야.
And how do you know that? Because any other me you've met is still me. And I haven't tricked you, nor do I have any desire to trick you in the future. And clearly you decided to heed most of the warnings I gave you. Otherwise you never would have mostly slayed her.
But we did slay her.
Yes, fine, you did slay her, but clearly part of her is still unslayed. There's no point wasting time bickering over semantics. The fact that you apparently botched the landing isn't on the me you're talking to, nor is it on any other version of me that you've encountered.
You're using a lot of words to say a lot.
그러니까 결국에는 지 잘못 없단 소리 아니야.
The enemy of my enemy.
The princess circles you again, her icy fingertips trailing up your spine, sending shivers rippling across your flesh.
이 해설자가 이렇게 해설하는 것도 얘 주관일 수도 있어. 뭐 되게 얘를 나쁜 년처럼 말하는데 그냥 얘는 얘 딴에는 그냥 돌고 있는 건데 얘 주관이 지금 섞여 있잖아, 사실은.
I don't want enemies. I don't want to fight. I just want to go home.
그래놓고 지 잘못은 없대.
Is that really so much to ask?
And just where is home, I wonder?
I don't know where home is. I just know it isn't here. But I can feel it calling to me from someplace far away. Wherever I'm supposed to be, it's out there.
How specific. And how convenient for her. You see what she's doing, right? She's suggesting that the only way you can rid yourself of her would be to let her out, which, in case you haven't been listening, will spell the end of the entire world.
계속 똑같은 선택지의 반복인데 살짝. 일단은 굳이 이 유령 상태의 공주를 죽일 필요는 전혀 안 느껴지거든요. 해설자가 싫어졌어요. 내게 뭘 원하는 거지? 아, 풀어달라니까. 뭐 이거는 뭐 널 또 만나게 될 줄 알았더니 너 죽여놨을 텐데. 나도 죽었는데 너처럼 떠난 이잖아. 풀어주자. 풀어주는 선택지는 없어? 아무래도 널 죽이는 건 아니고 원하는 게 뭐지? 이거 추가됐다. 벽을 통과할 수 있잖아? 그럼 그냥 스스로 나갈 수 있잖아.
I wish that's how it worked, but this place won't let me go. I've tried. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here.
Maybe we should just leave. If she can't get out on her own, then why do we have to do anything? We could probably walk out right now and everything would be fine. Hasn't got out and can't get out are two very different things.
It'd be dull anyway. It's more interesting if we make a choice.
But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
Absolutely not.
그렇게 무섭게만 얘기 안 했었으면 몸 빌려줬을 수 있었는데 그 표정, 그 띠꺼운 표정 때문에 안 빌려줄래.
Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it?
Now isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
냉혈한 목소리. 무슨 나는 주인공은 무슨 캐롤베러스예요. 머리가 세 개 옆에서 양쪽에서 서러움 들어도 얘기하고 있는 거야? 가운데 있는 애한테? 일시적이지 않을 것 같아. 얘가 한 번 몸 뺏었는데 거기서 나오겠어요. 저런 표정을 짓고 내 그 빚진 거 있잖아 이러고 막 이러는데 근데 그걸 알고도 그냥 몸을 빌려줘 보는 것도 나쁘지 않을 것 같아. 어차피 두 번째 세계인 거를 다들 인지하고 있는 거면은 뭐 어떻게 되는지 한번 세 번째 세계도 한번 봅시다.
The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
You're really trying to make it up to me, aren't you? Thanks for being a pal, killer. I mean it.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
너의 말은 그렇게 중요하지가 않아.
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over?
과연
I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
바닥에 쓰러지면 안 되지. 나가야지. 왜 기껏 몸 빌려주는데 못 나가?
Come on, you. You've got to get up. I know everything feels heavy right now.
그래
But we
나가야지.
still
기왕
have
빌려준
to get out
거.
of here.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
So, it doesn't work like that for you?
Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor. Are they also supposed to be you?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass,
It's okay. You can finish your thought.
I'm a voice? I'm me is what I am.
Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
You don't have to fight. We'll all be out of here soon.
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too.
I'm clearly the same thing you are.
They're not listening to me. Do they not listen to you either?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
네, 해설자도 그 목소리 중에 하나일 수도 있겠네요. 보면은.
So, you're the one who
Oh,
pulled the
길다.
strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
오,
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen.
Obviously she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
실제로 머릿속에서 이런 일이 벌어지고 있으면 진짜 미쳐버려도 이상하지 않을 것 같아요.
You don't have to let him get to you. You're better than that. You're starting to make things right.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
머리가 너무 어지러워. 목소리가 너무 많아. 솔직히 이거긴 한데 일단 빨리 떠나자. 좀.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do. Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world?
그 뜻은 아니지 않니?
It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is... Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world.
아니 왜 집에 무사히 도착한다는 게 전제야?
I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin? Does the destruction of one open a door to another? Or is it the same world reborn? Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
Maybe the bossy one doesn't actually hate me. Maybe he even likes me. Or
친데레야?
maybe he just knows that he's been in the wrong. Maybe he's trying to make amends too.
Not at all. I'll have you know that I do hate you, and I will continue to hate you for as long as I am able. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate. And whine. This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen.
몸을 끌어 나간다.
You continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
We're so close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If we get out of here, I won't even care that you murdered me anymore.
아직 담아두고 있었구나.
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle. But you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will. Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling.
문을 연다.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it. And then the door groans open.
칼집 말고 점화 들었으면 이겼을 수도 있는데.
Collapse to the ground. You and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort, you look up and see... yes?
Nothing. He's gone, and so is everything else.
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming, I suppose.
But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world?
꿈도 희망도 없구나.
We're still here.
Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or...
Okay, I've heard enough from these two. Let's see if I can pop out.
움푹 패인 두 눈동자가 솟아오르며 당신을 바라보자 당신은 가슴이 한결 가벼워졌음을 느낀다.
I'm out. You actually freed me, didn't you? I'm outside. Thanks for giving me a second chance, killer.
Don't mention it.
I think this was where I meant to be.
나는? 나는 내가 속한 곳을 찾지 못했는걸? 하지만 당신 대답하지 못한다. 무언가 그녀를 데려가고 그 자리에 무언가를 남겨뒀다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
굳이 찾을 필요는 없을 것 같은데?
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
아무래도 거울에 데려봐야 할 것 같고.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
일단 내가 사람은 아니던데?
Ignore him. You have to look.
거울에게 다가간다.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
지금까지 거울을 보고 건넨 적 없었잖아.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
마지막이라고? 그럼 오늘 컨텐츠 빨리 끝나가지고 금방 퇴근하니까 좋은 거잖아. 당신은 거울에 다가간다. 거울에 비친 자신을 바라본다. 얼마나 못생겼길래? 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 모두들 사라졌다. 하지만 거울은 그대로 있다. 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인할 때다. 당신이다. 당신은 텅 빈 공간에 혼자 서 있다. 고요하다. 오두막이 있어요? 당신은 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
노래 좋다. 아무튼 너는 무엇이지? 연합한 그릇. 이게 세상의 멸망이야? 아, 또 엄청 많네요. 일단 이거 정막에 있는 저를 찾아와 연약한 그릇을 선물해 주었군요. 그럼 얘 공주가 아닌 거란 소리네요? 공주를 그릇으로 썼다는 소리 아니야? 꼭 공주를 죽였어야 얘가 그릇으로 쓸 수 있었을까? 그냥 아니지. 그러면은 죽었을 때 시체로 그냥 썼으면 됐었겠지. 죽였어야 했나봐. 그럼 얘가 진짜 죽이라고 시킨 건가? 네가 공주를 죽이라고. 다 뒤에 있는 건 마음에 안 드는데. 그러니까 네가 공주를 죽이라고 날 보낸 건가? 그것만 물어보고 싶은데. 집합체를 공격한 데도 있네.
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
방금 생겨난 존재라는 거네, 존재 자체는. 해설자에 대해 알아?
You are the only thing I have ever
그렇지.
known.
미안하다. 방금 생겼다 그랬지.
The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
이제 어떻게 되지?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
또 그 우두머기 가서 공주를 죽여갖고 데리고 오라고? 그런 귀찮은 짓을. 내가 널 죽일 방법을 찾을까봐 두렵지 않아? 네 조각들은 얼마나 더 찾아야지?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
난 공주가 세상을 파괴하는 것을 막기 위해 공주를 죽이라는 부탁을 받았어. 내가 널 도우면 넌 세상을 파괴할 거야. 잊게 해준다는 게 이제 여기 있던 일을 완전히 잊고 다시 그 처음으로 돌아간다는 뜻일 것 같은데. 어디까지 잊어버리게 될지는 좀 중요하진 않죠. 이 게임 안에서는 잊을 줄 몰라도 플레이했던 우리들은 기억은 하고 있잖아요. 내가 널 죽일 방법을 찾을까봐 두렵진 않아.
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
이것도 일단은 물어봅시다. 내가 널 도우면은 넌 세상을 파괴할 거야?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape.
의미론적인 말이잖아. 널 도우면 어떤 걸 할 생각이지?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
너는 의지라는 게 없니? 아... 내가 허락하지 않겠다면?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
있게 해주러 갑시다.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
왜?
You won't.
깜짝이야. 심장아. 야, 근데 막 갑툭튀 이런 거 말고도 막 되게 잘 녹힌다. 연출로. 모든 것이 얻어지고 당신은 죽는다. 진짜
You're on
완전
a
처음이네.
path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin, and in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
진짜 있긴 한 거네. 챕터 1으로 돌아간 거면은. 이게 엔딩일 리는 없을 것 같고 몇 분 조금 더 해봐야 될 것 같은데.
You're here.
선택지 추가된 것도 없어 보이고. 내가 세상이 끝장난다고 해도 신경 쓰지 않을 거란 생각은 안
Of
해봤네.
course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
멸망 같은 건 아무도 원하지 않는다고 확신할 수 있어?
I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
왜 멸망을 원하는 사람들이 못된 사람이라고 아주 그렇게 얘기를 하는 거야? 애초에 공주를 가둬놨기 때문에 공주가 세상을 끝장내려고 한 거 아니야?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
불리한 얘기 나오니까 시간 없다고 하는 거 봐.
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
뜨끔하네.
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
살아있는 공주랑 대화하는 선택지로 조금 가봅시다.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. A warning. Before she will lie,
들었던 대사는 그냥 빠르게 넘어갈게요.
The interior of the cabin is all the blade is your implement.
어차피 영어라서 저는 영어를 못해가지고.
The door to the basement creaks open. Her voice
Hello?
is hypnotized. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
안녕, 사람들이 널 죽이라던데?
You must have the wrong address.
Great job. You've given away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. You were joking about coming to kill me, right? Do you think you could get me out of these chains?
죽이진 않을 건데 내숭 좀 그만 떨래? 그 전에 잠깐 이야기 좀 하자.
Okay.
난 너에 대해서 아무것도 몰라. 그저 이유가 있으니까 여기 갇혔다는 것만 알아. 널 죽이러 왔다는 말은 농담이었어. 네가 세상을 끝장낼 거라던데. 사람을 본 게 아이고 역시 처음에는 맞네요. 미안하지만 넌 믿을 수 없어. 일단 널 여기 계속 가둬둘 거야. 일단은 널 여기 계속 가둬둘 거야. 그럼 내가 널 어떻게 할지 결정하는 동안 서로에 대해 좀 더 알 수 있겠지. 아니야. 그러고 싶은 건 아니야. 얘는 진짜 지 목숨 달린 일인데 목숨 걸고 약간 날 설득하려고 하겠지. 일단은 좀 막 관계 형성보다는 좀 얘에 대한 정보를 조금 얻자. 난 너에 대해서 아무것도 몰라. 그저 이유가 있으니까 여기 갇혔다는 것만 알아.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
그래, 통성명이나 하자.
Oh.
이름이
She
뭐니?
pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
이름 말하는 게 어렵니?
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
공주병 말기구만.
Is princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
얘는 뭔 개소리를 하고 있는 거야? 아, 이거는 번역 차이인가? 언어 차이인가? 공주가 이름인가? 아, 됐어. 이름 됐다. 그냥 어차피 알려줄 것 같지도 않고. 내 도움으로 밖에 나간다면 뭘 할 거지? 말동무 아니고. 미안하지만 넌 믿을 수 없어. 네 앞뒤가 맞지 않는 이야기에 세상의 운명을 걸 순 없어. 돌아가서 단검을 가져온다야? 이거 약간 좀 스포당한 기분인데? 내가 뭘 물어봐도 얘가 말하는 건 앞뒤가 안 맞을 거란 소리잖아. 꺼내준다. 그냥 꺼내버려. 공주에 대해서 뭔가 얘가 왜 나가면 왜 멸망하는지 자기에 대해서 조금 얘기를 해줬으면 좋겠는데 그냥 진짜 살려달라고 나한테 그냥 빌빌거리는 거 말고. 널 죽이러 왔다는 말은 농담이었어. 네가 세상을 끝낼 거라던데.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
네 의지가 중요한 게 아닐걸?
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
얘한테는 했었자 말 안 들리잖아. 그러면은 충분히 들었지로 약간 구락가볼까? 아니 그래서 난 네가 위험하다고 생각하지 않아. 충분히 들었지.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
They haven't shared a thing, have they? All they've done is point a finger. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that, and I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
사람을 본 게 정말 오랜만이라고 했는데 생리 현상은 어떻게 그랬니?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
꽤 중요한 질문이었는데.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant.
네가 진짜 사람인지 사람이 아닌지 알 수 있는 중요한 질문이었는데.
Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
어쨌든 계속 가둬둔다. 지금 선택지가 3개인 거야 그러면은? 계속 가둬둔다랑 죽인다랑 풀어준다? 일단 그 3개 중에 고르라고 한다면 저는 일단 계속 가둬두는 거긴 하거든요. 일단 널 여기서 계속 가둬둬야 돼. 그럼 내가 널 어떻게 할지 결정하는 동안 서로에 대해 좀 더 알 수 있겠지. 서로에 대해 알고 싶은 목적은 아닌데.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out. So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
아니야 괜찮아. 영웅아 나도 마음에 들었었어 그나마.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
아니 내가 그렇다고 나한테 나쁜.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
어떻게 보면 나도 피해자야. 돌아가서 상검을 가져온다. 진짜 그냥 공주를 지하실에 가둔다? 한 번 더 물어본 거네? 진짜로 가둘 거냐고? 진짜로 가둬보면 궁금하긴 하거든요? 아, 근데 약간 가야 될 것 같은 거는 이건데 근데 궁금한 건 이거야. 가두다.
I know you think this is some kind of fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work if we just stay here and keep watch. No one has to die.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way back to the stairs.
Fine. Turn your back on me. But it won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
근데 공주 입장에서는 그냥 진짜 죽이지 않은 걸로만 해도 다행으로 생각해야 될 거 아니야? 나한테 그래.
Slip these chains. She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped the mask, didn't she? You can still grab the blade and get back down here.
오, 다행이다. 공주를 죽이지 않는다는 선택지로 이미 정해진 줄 알았어. 아니, 공주를 가두는 계획을 유지하겠어. 풀어준다는 없어? 그나마 좀 다시 가서 그냥 아유 미안하다 기다려 내가 풀어줄게 약간 이렇게 가는 건 없니? 공주를 가두는 계획을 유지하겠어.
It'll be the death of all of us, but fine. We'll do it your. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
마음의 준비를 좀 하고 있을게요.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door I'll hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
족쇄 그렇게 풀 수 있었던 거였냐고 쉽게.
Sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it.
아니 제가 그렇게 큰 잘못을 했나요 선생님?
You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
얼마든지 예쁘다. 내 죄책감만 덜해질 뿐이라. 그러니까 전부 연기였던 거지. 넌 연약하지도 결백하지도 않아. 화물의 공주는 더욱 아니지. 넌 괴물이야.
I can be innocent and harmless if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way.
나오셨니?
Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
고마우면은 그냥 우리 이제 빠이빠이 할까?
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working.
이렇게 천천히 다가오는 거면 그렇게 무섭지 않을지도?
It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth.
너 내 편 아니잖아. 너 세상
The
편이잖아.
of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills.
좀 바쁜 몸이라 내가.
What a shame. If you'd only help me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
아니 한 번 더 있잖아. 챕터 2.
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
결국에 뭐였던 거야? 유령이야? 유령이 아니라 악몽으로 넘어갔어요?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
이거 넘어갈게요. 탐색할 필요 없을 것 같아요. 그냥 바로 갈게요.
A warning before you go any further.
그냥 딱히 해설자의
She will
말을
lie,
듣고 싶지
she
않아서
will
그러는
cheat,
거예요.
and she will do
I don't think lying and cheating is her thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least,
It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone.
직업 편집 중으로 봤어요. 편집 중인 목소리. 오토바이 들어갔다.
The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. Hold on. What happened to the door?
it's just an empty frame.
She's already got out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done.
이번에는 그냥 아무 의심 없이 그냥 풀어줘 버릴까요?
So deep breath in, deep breath out.
거울에 대해서 말하지 않았죠?
Right, I was so stuck on the eyes watching us that I didn't even notice it there. What are you two talking about? There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the floor, and the open doorway leading to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
오, 나 약간 소름 돋는 게 여기 양쪽 창문에 애들 막 나 지켜보고 있다.
There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. We have to look at it. Unless that's what he wants us to do. And pretending it isn't there is a trick to get us to do exactly what he wants.
왜 분명히 보이는 거울을 없다고 하는 거야? 무슨 의미가 있다고? 내 모습을 보고 싶어. 잘생긴 내 얼굴 말이야.
We shouldn't waste time preening. If he is lying about the mirror, it might be important.
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
해설자한테는 진짜로 안 보이는 게 맞나 봐.
Maybe he's trying to keep us from looking because there's something horribly wrong with us. No, there isn't something horribly wrong with you. You look exactly how you're supposed to look. Now stop second-guessing my every word.
거울에 다가간다.
You walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. This really isn't funny.
거울에 닦는다.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
거울은 그니까 그 무슨 색이라고 해야 되지? 아무튼 일단
He
이어가볼게요.
make it go away. Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad.
자, 지하실에 들어갑시다.
Oh, we should have taken the knife. I don't think going down there unarmed is going to do us any favors. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps suspended in darkness. More eyes, too. You never mention the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Come back? She must have you confused with someone else.
아니야, 맞아 저거.
You really don't remember, do you? It doesn't matter, we need a game plan. We know we can't just go down there unprepared.
그녀와 대화해보겠어. 계획은 필요 없어. 난 공주를 죽일 거야. 그녀와 대화해보겠어.
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good.
Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway.
그렇긴 해.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
진짜 마주치자마자 그냥 바로 죽여버릴라나?
As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness.
A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways.
She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed.
Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is?
No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me,
너도 아닌 것
I'm
같은데.
being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement.
맞아. 생각해보면 그게 더 이상하지.
We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter. Because either way you go,
아무것도 하지 않고 싶진 않고 대충 어느 쪽으로 가볼까?
You turn to the right. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
there you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow.
머리 염색하셨나요, 검색으로?
This is it, isn't it?
It's almost like you want me to get you.
There has to be a way out of this. Think. Think! What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
풀어주러 왔는데 이미 자유를 얻었구만.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open.
What are you doing?
I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death.
Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more? You have seconds left.
Yes, I'm sure.
Heart, lungs. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us.
Liver.
Why? The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission.
해석자야. 근데 이제 와서 내가 죽일 수 없는 존재가 되어버린 것 같은데?
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't have a weapon. The way out of here is nowhere to be seen. That isn't my fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it is because fighting her isn't an option right now. Then you should get looking, shouldn't you?
Lungs. Liver. Nerves. Heart.
지난번에 네가 날 죽이고 난 이후 무슨 일 있었지? 난 네가 세상을 파괴하는 것을 막으라는 말 들었어. 그냥 내보낼 수 없어. 너 미쳤어. 너와 협력하고 싶다면 최소한 내 장기들을 멈추는 것만이라도 그만둬주진 않겠어.
Heart. Lungs. Liver. Nerves. Heart. Lungs. Liver.
좋을 생각이 없다.
Heart. Lungs.
함께 떠난다.
Liver.
일단은 우린 적이 될 필요 없어. 우린 협력할 수 있어. 어쩌면 친구가 될 수 있을지도 몰라.
Would you look at that? You're suggesting exactly what I want. Somebody's ahead of the curve.
생각이 통했군.
I tried to leave while you suffocated, but that stupid cabin wouldn't let me. So I started to drag your body out with me and then...
이번에도 또 내 몸 빌려가지고.
Well, you died before I could get to the door. And then I was here, and now you're here too. I don't think I can move without you. And dead doesn't count. And as much as I love what we have going on, I have bigger plans than tormenting one poor little creature forever. I want to leave.
어쨌든 공주는 내가 안 풀어줘서 이렇게 된 게 아니라 이게 원래 그 공주라는 애 약간 좀 본 모습이라는 거잖아. 그래가지고 얘가 나가면 세상이 이렇게 멸망할 거라고 했던 거. 일단은 아까 그 아까 이전 첫 번째 트라이의 챕터 2의 그 유령 챕터처럼 얘를 일단 밖으로 내보내서 다른 세상으로 좀 가고 싶긴 하거든요. 그 세상을 다시 가고 싶긴 하거든. 그러면은 몸을 그냥 빌려주는 쪽으로 가야 될 것 같은데. 좋아, 여기서 같이 나가자.
What? No!
I knew you'd come around. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Before you can utter another word, your body stops moving, and, shit. With a flick of the princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to torment and oblivion.
Come along now. You don't want to be stuck down here.
The princess glides onto the stairs and beckons you to follow. If only you had a weapon, this would be the perfect opportunity to use it.
But we don't. We've already made our choice.
맞아, 이미
Still
결정했어.
grab it on the way out.
You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the suggestions for the time being. Just focus on
계속
keeping
그거
us
하고 있어.
alive.
간, 심장, 배 이거 계속 하고 있어.
Right.
공주에 따라 계단으로 오른다.
You step onto the basement stairs, following the princess as she ascends. Pins and needles punctuate your every step, an uncomfortable and constant reminder of your mortality. Is this really worth it?
At least it's a choice.
That doesn't justify anything. A terrible choice is still terrible.
Make sure you keep up. We wouldn't want you to fall.
어머, 친절하게까지.
As if acting on instinct, you crane your neck and look behind you. There is nothing there. The princess reaches the top of the stairs and taps on the door. Her head twists back in your direction, watching you with dead eyes as the way out creaks open. Don't forget that your pristine blade is still on the other side.
샤프트식 묶기.
You can still make this right. You can still save everyone. You can still save yourself from becoming her tormented pet. There's no harm in us having a weapon. All it does is give us more options, and we are dangerously low on those right now. Have you considered that maybe you could operate the autonomic nervous system for a bit? Everyone is trying to manipulate us, and I can only do so many things at once to keep us alive.
Heart. Liver?
Your body seizes violently as you regain consciousness on the floor of the cabin. No! You're doing it all wrong.
그냥
You're
너가
supposed
해.
to do it like this. Heart, lungs, liver. I guess I have to do everything around here, don't I?
그래, 너 잘났으니까 빨리 좀 하고 있어봐. 그거 좀.
There we go. Back with me where you belong. I thought you might have decided to break yourself just to spite me. It's better for you that you didn't. Now we can get back to business. For starters, we won't need this where we're going.
The princess plucks the blade from the floor and tosses it through the door behind you. It vanishes into the inky black of the basement, never to be seen again. Guess we're not stabbing her in the back. I guess not. I'm going to fix myself a stiff drink. If I'm about to watch you hand the world to her on a silver platter, I'd rather not be sober.
And now you open the door.
There's nothing else for us to do.
밖으로 나왔다.
The doorknob twists in your hand, revealing the forested path beyond the cabin. You bastard. You've actually done it. You've actually doomed everyone.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to ruin it. But it's so cold, too. It's itching against my skin.
지친 공주는 바닥에 털썩 앉는다.
Why is it so cold?
잘 가라, 친구. 자, 또다시 이 세계로 왔습니다. 당신은 대답하지 못한다. 영원히. 이제 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 되돌아온다. 편의상 여기는 그냥 거울 세계라고 부를게요.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again.
아, 이건 똑같은 것 같아요. 당연히 그랬겠지. 넌 이제 끝이야. 하지만 난 끝이 아니지. 괜찮을 거야. 날 믿어. 우리는 전에도 여기 왔었고 넌 그때도
But
두려워했어.
it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. It's calling us. And not in a good way.
이건 끝이 아니야. 앞길에 뭐가 있긴 괜찮을 거야. 조만간 또 보자. 괜찮을 거야.
Okay. If you say so, we'll trust you. Do we trust you?
거울에 다가간다. 당신은 거울에 다가간다. 거울에 비친 자신을 바라본다. 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 이번에도 모두들 사라졌다. 거울이 매번 모두를 사라지게 만든다. 하지만 당신은 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인해봐야 한다. 당신은 성장했다. 당신은 또다시 정막에 와있다. 오두막에 간다. 당신은 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
일단은 이렇게 변하는 기분이 어때?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
얼마나 변화했지?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
보이지 않는 벽이 날 가로막았어. 왜 이전과 똑같은 선택을 할 수 없지? 넌 내가 만났던 자들 중 나를 가장 친절하게 대해줬어. 고마워. 다 물어보고 싶긴 하다. 왜 이전과 똑같은 선택을 할 수 없지?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
넌 내가 만났던 자들 중 가장 나를 친절하게 대해줬어. 왜지?
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
굳이 그렇다고 친절... 대답은 잘 안 된 것 같은데. 다음엔 어떤 걸 원하지?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is filled with sadness. A doll, abandoned to the company of her darkest impulses. She desires only companionship, but the only thing she knows is how to hurt. She will make for a tender heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found her way home.
그럼 어떤 방향으로 성장하고 싶은지에 대해 딱히 원하는 게 없겠죠. 난 널 해치고 싶지 않아. 하지만 여정을 계속할수록 자꾸만 널 해치게 돼. 넌 나에 대해 어떻게 생각해? 난 내게 가져왔던 그릇들을 해줬어.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
약간 머리가 깨질 것 같군. 그럼 어떤 방향으로? 와, 이거 고르면 어떻게 될까? 스스로의 몸을 파괴한다. 얘가 보는 앞에서. 그것도 굉장히 궁금하긴 한데. 일단 궁금할 뿐이지 고르고 싶은 선택지는 아니고요. 돌아갈 준비 됐어.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다. 야, 이거 진짜 그릇을 몇 개를
You're
갖다
on a
줘야 되는 거야,
path
진짜.
in the woods.
그럼
And
일단은
at the end of that path is a cabin.
화장실 및 담탐
And in the basement of
가졌다가
that cabin
이어서 가도록 하겠습니다.
is a princess.
금방 갔다 올게요. 자, 이어서 가볼게요.
You're here to slay her. If
그냥 조용히 갈게요.
you make your way up, a warning, she will lie.
자, 본 거는 빠르게 넘어가고. 이번엔 첫 트부터 그냥 적극적으로
The
공주를
interior of the
풀어줍시다.
blade. The door to the pervoy is don't let.
구해주러 왔어. 그냥 계속 내려간다.
Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you walk down the stairs and lock eyes. She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay for.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
한번 해보지.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
열쇠가 없다면 다른 좋은 생각이 있어. 위로 올라가 보지. 여기 어딘가에 열쇠가 있을지도 몰라. 만약 없다 해도 족쇄로 부수마는 건 찾을 수 있겠지.
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hit someone else here.
못 가게 해놨겠지. 이놈의 해설자가. 또 내려갔다.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade. Like, easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you.
저번에도 이렇게 족쇄 풀고 왔니?
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
왜 갖고 왔어 이건?
Or we could use it to free you. You won't like what happens if you do that.
공주를 구한다.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
No, she didn't.
She smiles
딱히
softly
거기에
as her
놀랍진 않아,
gaze
이제
meets
와서.
yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
잠긴 문으로 다가간다.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
아이 그만 좀 시켜. 야 이거 하는 플레이어도 이 정도 플레이어들도 이 정도면 공주 안 죽이겠다고 약간 좀 확실히 마음을 먹은 거잖아. 그만 좀 죽이라고 시켜.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
뭐야 선택지 없어? 왜? 참 진짜. 경고한다.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
저항한다.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
야, 이렇게 골로 보내놓고 미안하다고 말하면 끝이야?
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake.
For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use it.
얘도 참 양심이.
Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
어떻게 도와줄 생각은 일절 안 해보고 그냥 바로 냈다 죽여버리면서 미안하다고 하면 끝이야?
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark. And you die.
소공룡.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of
참고로
that
이번에도
path
살릴 겁니다.
is a cabin,
이번에도 망설임
and in
없이
the
살릴
basement
거예요.
of that cabin is a
슬립으로 가자.
princess. You're here.
오두막이 간다.
A warning: she will lie, She will cheat if forget he said it, but he is a
야,
villain.
홀린자.
He made our beloved brutally take our life last time. He's trying to keep us apart, but he won't be able to withstand the power of our love. Last time? What are you talking about? I think he just likes to hear the sound of his own voice. Let's try to ignore him. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task
좀 듣기
ahead.
싫긴 할 것 같아. 저런 말투로 저런 대사를 뱉으면 아무리 외국어라지만 오두막이 들어갔다.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to.
거울에다가 온다.
You walk up to the wall next to. What are you talking about? You reach forward and rub your hand, but there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. Pity.
안
We could have a
사라졌는데?
feather out of place, and now we'll never know.
안 사라진 거 아니야
We
이거?
can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
지하실에 들어간다. 저 홀린 자의 목소리 좀 되도록이면 좀 다물었으면 좋겠어요.
open, revealing an intricate stairwell.
이것도
Gold,
일단
but it's still
넘길게요.
a stone basement. A soft voice.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love. Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is
과해.
a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a
잠깐만.
heavy chain
이러면
around
내가
her
진짜로
wrist,
츤데레가
binding
돼버리잖아.
her to the far wall.
진짜 딱히 사랑에 빠져서 구해주는 건 아니야.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
그거는 동의한다.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing. And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it?
그러게.
Waiting for you to come back. You've been here before, haven't you? That's right, villain, and you killed us. Well, she killed us.
맞지? 물리적으로는 공주가 죽였지.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world. But everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. And you can't keep hopping between worlds forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible. Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is. Now, hold on, if she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
이 홀린자의 목소리의 대사에는 신비한 힘이 있어요. 지금까지 이 게임하면서 굉장히 약간 좀 머리가 아팠는데 얘 말하는 거 보니까 그냥 뇌 빼고 보게 돼. 되게 멍하게 그냥 듣게 돼.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
약간 좀 헛소리하고 있는 걸 보는 느낌? 칼은 안 가져왔는데 또 잘라줘야 해? 내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일 있었지? 질문이 있어. 지난번에 날 죽이고 난 다음 혹시 세상을 멸망시켰어? 아니라고 하겠지. 지난번에 있었던 일은 미안해. 널 죽이라고 날 보낸 해설자가 내 몸을 조종했어. 아주 불공평했지. 일단은 내가 공주한테 호감 도작을 해야 되는 거잖아. 지금 상황은. 미안하다고 하자.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride, to a surprising extent. That's because she's perfect. Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me. I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
칼은 안 가져왔는데 또 잘라줘야 해?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done. What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
그니까 논점이 이상한데 너네?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel. No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behaviour and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
근데 어차피 살려줄 거기 때문에 같이 나갈 거기 때문에 중요한 건 아니긴 해. 공주를 구한다 그냥 바로.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought. You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. Bucket. I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved.
해설자 말투가 홀린 자한테 옮겼나요?
Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love
좀
on
조용히
our
있어.
side?
What do we do now?
우린 떠날 거야. 뭘 하고 싶은지는 평생 동안 천천히 정하면 돼.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers.
근데 여기서 해설자가 말하는 말만 없으면 좀 완벽한 해피엔딩이야.
We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice.
저 목소리 맡긴 거 아니야. 내가 결정한 거야.
I'm just along for the ride at this point.
함께 한다면 열 수 있을 거야.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together. Blech. And the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me? I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs, and the blade, that's right, there's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
그게 통하겠니 지금? 그러지 않는다.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
I hate you too.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin. And then you step outside. A happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
다 모르겠고 빨리 이 홀린 자랑 좀 헤어지고 싶어요.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
어우. 하지만 당신은 외투를 만들어주지 못한다. 영원히. 이제 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 되돌아온다.
She's gone. Where did she go? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
괜찮을 거야.
But it feels so bad, like looking into it right. Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt.
얘한테는 이러고 싶다. 넌 끝이지만 난 끝이 아니지. 아, 조만간 또 보자.
If you such, she'll be there waiting for us.
거울에 다가간다. 당신은 거울에 다가간다. 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 이번에도 모두들 사라졌다. 거울이 매번 모두를 사라지게 만든다. 하지만 당신은 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인해야 한다. DK? 당신은 수척해졌다. 수척해졌다? 아, 실제로 홀린 자 때문에 많이 좀 피곤하긴 한데 당신은 또 정막에 와있다. 오두막에 갔다. 어쨌든 사랑 쪽을 선택했는데 수척해졌다니. 당신은 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
얘 말하는 거 어떻게 모순으로 존재할 수 있다는 거야? 아무리 다시 돌아가도 우리 둘은 매번 서로를 다치게. 그 사실이 널 변화시키지 않아? 더 나쁘게 만들진 않아?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
사실 오히려 널 더 좋아하게 만들어. 그게 무슨 뜻인지 모르겠어. 아니, 내 옆에 있으면 모든 게 작아 보여. 난 딱히 관심 없어. 그저 모든 게 끝나길 원하는 거야. 그래, 넌 날 괴롭게 해. 난 널 지금. 내 옆에 있으면 모든 게 작아 보여.
It does seem small from here, and the more we journey, the smaller each of those steps will be. But that doesn't make any of them less special.
이 그릇에 대해는 어떻게 생각해?
This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
조금은 흥미가 생겼을 수도 있어. 내가 다음에 어떤 그릇을 가져올지는 여전히 신경 쓰지 않는 거야?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you.
너는 모순이 아니야. 모순은 존재하지 않아.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
어떻게 모순으로 존재할 수 있다는 거야?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
우리가 한 세계를 두고 다닐 때 그 세계는 어떻게 되는 거야?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
그릇을 얼마나 더 가져와야 되니?
We will know when we near our destination.
돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
아, 이번에는 어떤 그릇을 가져다 줘야 되나? 모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
제가 첫 번째 때는 바로 죽였었죠. 그 다음에 유령 나왔고. 지금 이제 4트째니까 처음에 죽여봤고, 두 번째는 살린 다음에 어떻게 했더라? 아, 죽인 다음에 살렸고, 그 다음은 살린 다음에 또 살렸죠. 살린 다음에 죽여야 되나?
You're
오두막.
You make your way. The interior blade.
나 혼자 떠나보는 것도 안 됐고, 아까. 아, 두 번째 때 했었고, 그게. 죽여봤고, 살려봤고. 그러면은 해설자가 살리는데 해설자가 무리하게 그 몸 조종해서 죽일 때 있잖아요. 그때 그냥 진짜 죽여볼까? 그때 단 거 안 가져가도 됐었고.
Don't.
Good.
You walk down. She's be. I.
족쇄를 살펴본다.
You're only making.
Thank you.
You're making. No. You walk up to their large.
I'm guessing you don't have.
Made down.
다른 좋은 생각 있어?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the base. Someone else.
내려간다.
You make your way to the easier.
I heard the door.
There's a slight.
If I-
She
이거는
rips.
넘어갈게요.
You
여기서 죽여보자.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally, the wound drives her to the ground. Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
근데 이래봐야 첫 번째 트라이랑 크게 달라질 게 없을 것 같은데.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
조금 더 뒀다 죽일걸.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your knife cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
공주를 죽인다.
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around.
포기한다.
Are you serious? As what's left of your blood pools around you on the cobblestone floor, the blade falls from your trembling hands and clatters uselessly against the ground. I suppose you simply lacked the will to finish the job. The princess, wounded but still alive, nervously jumps at the blade and kicks it far away from you before retreating into a dark corner of the room. Her shining eyes watch you from the darkness, unblinking and curious as you bleed out. We can only hope the wounds you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky,
이렇게 되면은 챕터 2 어떻게 될지 좀 궁금하긴 한데.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
This is the end, isn't it? Before you can answer, everything goes dark, and you die.
야수.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is
이거 넘어가고.
a warning. Before she will. Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature? I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered. She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell. That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this seriously. Maybe.
오두막에 들어간다. 거울 굳이 안 봐도 될 것 같아요.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. The blade.
이것도 조금 넘어갈게요. 이번에는 어떻게 돼 있을지 모르니까 일단은 사냥꾼의 목소리로 바뀌었잖아. 그러면 일단 단검은 가져가 볼까?
You take the blade from the
시야실에 들어갔다.
The door to the basement
들어가자마자
creaks
바로
open,
공주랑 맞짱 뜰 수 있죠.
revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. The air seeping up from below. She growls up the
지금
stairs.
이런 거는 좀 넘기는 게 빨리 넘기는 게 낫죠?
I can smell you.
그 약간 뭐 방이 어떻냐느니 약간 좀 이런 인테리어 설명 같은 거.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere. You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess. She is certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified.
뭐야 블리치 크랭크야? 두려움에 떨어라
I'm
살덩이들.
so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
저 짤랑거리는 소리 안 들려? 종주는 족쇄에 묶여 있어. 우린 괜찮아. 공격하려는 거지 다 보여. 이대로 같이 나가보는 건 어때? 서로 죽일 필요는 없잖아. 알고는 있는 거지.
There's a shift in the humid air, and something in princess lunges from the shadows, her maw unhinged and dripping, her eyes fierce and full of hunger. She is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. This is her domain. You are devoured.
그냥 진짜 대화도 못 해보고 그냥 죽은 거야?
I guess that's it then, isn't it? Unfortunately for you, no.
끝이 아니야?
This isn't it. You are in a dark and caustic place. A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time.
You spoke when you needed to act.
The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
굳이 소화까지 당하는 것까지 경험을 해야 한다니.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
그게 그렇게 긴 문장이었어?
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her. Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something.
여기서 뭘 어떻게 해 내가?
You still have that steel claw. Tear through her before we are her. Survive. Or we could use it to make this quick for ourselves. If she needs us in order to leave, we could at least deny her that. That is a bad thing to do.
왜? 오두막가 돼야 할 수 있는
I
거야?
understand it, and it understands me. Talking is for those who don't know how to listen.
날 뱉어내지 않으면 난 자살할 거야. 그럼 아무도 못 나가. 약간 이대로 공주 때때로 가는 건 약간 좀 꼴받긴 해.
I'm so very, very patient. If it takes lives and lives and lives to swallow my way to freedom, then that is what I'll do.
Your body is violently jostled, the disruption causing burning skin to slop from raw muscle, and you hear what you can only assume is the princess pulling against the door to the cabin.
The cage is still locked.
I don't think we can talk our way out of this. We are drowning in death. There's no more space for words.
쪽가?
In an act of spiteful defiance, you pull your weapon to your throat, your shaking, ulcerous hand clenched tight around its hilt. And then you draw it across your bubbling veins. Your blood flows out, filling the tiny space inside the princess. A waste of a good life. It's better than giving in to her.
그럼
But in the end, the opinions of stray voices mean little in the grand scheme of things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
오! 챕터 3이요?
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here?
이번이 9번째야.
I think this is our third?
아니야. 9번째야.
That's bad.
챕터
That's
1 포함해서.
very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do? We're part of her because she consumed us. Can she hear us if we talk?
그럼 지금 이 챕터 3는 슬슬 그릇을 다 모아가지고 때가 된다는 느낌보다는 그냥 진짜로 잘못된 거네?
I can hear everything, little one, but you don't have to be afraid of me. There's no place where you end and I begin. Nothing can hurt you here. Not anymore.
It shouldn't count as her eating us if we offed ourselves. We're still here, though. And if we're safe, isn't that better? I guess this is fine. Doesn't feel half bad. Miles better than being dissolved, anyway. She ate you?
And now you're convinced that you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
우리를 감시하고 있는 저 녀석은 정체가 뭐지?
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to help you. That's not an answer to our question.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves apart.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together. She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her.
좋아, 내가 공주를 맡고 싶어 한다고 진짜. 그럼 어떻게 해야지? 내가 할 수 있는 게 딱히 없네. 굳이 뭘 해야 해? 지금도 괜찮잖아. 난 좋은데. 왜 내게 친절하게 대하는 거지? 넌 괴물이잖아. 날 잡아먹었잖아. 그러니까 지금 공주는 그 거울세계 공주는 아닌 거잖아.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the fear and the hunger and the pain. Not after being something as beautiful as this. Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
I can feel a thumping, a heartbeat, like a distant terror that keeps getting louder the more we pay attention.
Please, stop. If you let it in, we'll fall apart. Don't look at it!
Hold yourself together. We're no strangers to effort. We can push this back down. Something might do us in eventually, but I'll be damned if that something is a thought.
묻어버린다. 너무 늦기 전에. 내면의 공포를 응시한다. 응시로 갈게요.
Please, don't make us remember how I was.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. I can remember it now. I didn't like being eaten. I'd forgotten how much it burned. And the air was so hard to breathe. She didn't care.
나 잘못 이해한 것 같은데? 응시가 아니라 받아들여야 했었나?
At least we didn't have to sit through it to the end. But I think she owes us, don't you, lads? She barely felt more than a little indigestion while we burned away inside of her.
As you remember the terror and pain you felt at the hands of the princess, you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
No, I devoured you. I won. I put things back the way they were supposed to be.
Some divisions, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this
once and for all.
I feel empty, don't you?
This doesn't feel like a fight. This isn't what I wanted. Where's the victory in this?
I feel safe. She isn't dangerous anymore. We could leave her. We could both live. Do we have to do this?
You have to. You know you have to.
난 널 죽이고 싶었던 적이 없어. 정말이야. 하지만 우리는 하나가 될 수 없어. 난 그걸 막아야만 했어. 풀어준다로 갈게.
You devious little bastard. If you think I'm going to let you free her, you have another thing coming. And that other thing is... We'll just have to wait and find out when it happens. Just ignore him. What's he gonna do? Lecture us into submission? He can talk all he wants.
You're tired, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm... Fine. Whatever. You cut the princess down from the roots that bind her. I hope you're happy. And good luck getting her out of here.
I didn't think you would do that after everything. It's so cold without you.
그러나 당신은 대답하지 못한다.
She's gone. And is that a...
공주한테 갈게요. 바로. 당신은 해체되었다. 당신은 또다시 정막에 와 있다. 당신은 오두막에 있다.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
그건 수사적인 질문이야. 넌 이미 알고 있는 거야?
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. But all of those flickers end where the long quiet begins. I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there?
나무들과 별 그리고 사람들이 있겠지. 적어도 사람들은 있을 거야.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
굉장히 긴 질문 하나 있어요. 네가 날 돌려보낼 때마다 나는 혼자가 아니야. 내게 말을 거는 목소리들이 있어. 일부는 나지만 그중 한 명은 뭔가 다른 존재야. 난 그를 해설자라고 불러. 그는 내가 너를 죽이길 원해. 내게도 해설자가 있어? 그들에게도 해설자가 있는 거야?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
아니지 않을까? 맞다고 하네요. 이유는 모르지만 난 알고 있어. 그를 찾아냈을 때 그를 어떻게 하고 싶은지 잘 모르겠어. 그리고 그를 찾게 되면 너와 난 진실을 알게 되겠지. 그리고 그를 찾게 되면 난 그를 죽일 거야. 하지만 일단은 너만 알아도. 그를 어떻게 하고 싶은지 잘 모르겠어.
There's no need for you to know what you are going to do before you do it. If you find him, remember that I'll be waiting for you on the other side.
저 바깥에 실존하는 게 있을까? 넌 우리가 실제로 존재한다고 생각해?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, Nothing can't exist.
머리 아파. 네가 깨어나면 무슨 일이 일어나지?
If I did, I would already be awake.
이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart. Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for.
얼마나 남았니?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
하나 남았다고? 나 지금 녹화하고 있는데 시간 안 되는데. 이번이 마지막이라면 혹시 내가 가져다 줬으면 하는 그릇이 있어? 네가 완성되기 전에 이번이 마지막이라면 난 돌아가지 않겠어. 없다고 할 것 같은데?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
그래, 돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path.
일단은 세이브를 해두고, 일단은 그럼 이번에는 어떻게 가야 될지 되게 고민이 많이 되네. 일단은 마지막 그릇이라고 하니까 오랜만에 그냥 그 첫 틈만에 바로 그냥 죽여버리는 걸로.
Serious?
뭐야. 잘못 눌렀어.
Ignore.
여기서 다시 떠나볼까 계속?
You're really.
상관없어. 공주를 해주고 싶지 않아. 그래? 그럼 전부 죽으라고 해. 날 이런 외딴 숲에 던져놓고 누군가를 자기네들 대신 죽이라고 강요할 거란 말이야. 두 번째로 와볼게요.
When I said everyone, I meant everyone. That's a pretty large group to just condemn to death over a single princess. And last I checked, you're part of everyone too. So if you think about it, walking up to that cabin and slaying her is really in your best interests as well. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
그래? 그럼 다시 다른 방향으로 가지 뭐. 이곳에서 나갈 방법을 찾을 때까지 숲속을 헤맬 거야.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
네가 뭘 알아?
And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of, but as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction,
복붙
there
그만!
is a path
컨트롤 C 컴퓨터로
and a
보니 그만.
cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
너를 화나게 하고 싶은 건 맞아.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
오, 낯선 존재.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her.
자, 여기서는 어떻게 할까? 이것도 좀 다르게. 끔찍한 대자뷰. 뭐 이건 다 똑같고. 하지만 난 죽었는데 세계는 왜 말고 내가 왜 여기 있는 거지? 지난번엔 저 벽은 없었는데 날 강제로 오두막에 데려갈 생각은 하지 마. 벽이 생겼네요. 그래 알아들어서 오두막에 갈게. 조용히 오두막에 갔다. 오두막으로 달아날 수 없다면 그냥 여기 멀미했어. 영원히. 이거 한번 진짜 고집 한번 피워보자.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
아 그래? 아 거울세계 공주가 가라고 하면은 가야지. 지금 이 모든 게 다 널 위한 건데. 아 그래 알았어. 진짜로 오두막에 가서 공주를 죽일게. 여기서 또 갈리는 거잖아. 일단은 이걸로 갈게요.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
이거 내가 거짓말하는지
warning.
어떻게 알아?
Before you go any further, she will lie, she will cheat. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
오두막에 들어간다.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense.
이거 마음대로 막 복붙하니까 그렇지.
The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
아니 생각해보면은 첫 번째 세계에서 공주랑 아예 접촉을 안 했는 상태에서는 두 번째 세계 공주가 어떻게 돼 있을까? 일단은 칼을
No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with.
그래 일단은 가지고는 있을게.
I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise?
이 말은 잘 안 듣고 있거든.
You can't just say that. And when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, you've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
자, 당근을 가져간다.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Okay, fine, you took the knife. But you really shouldn't hold it like that.
그거 그렇게 하는 거 아닌데.
How are we supposed to hold it? The other way, thumb at the bottom. Will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom. It really doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice.
전법 중요해. 뭐야? 역수로 접는다.
You switch your grip on the blade. Congratulations. Yes! Isn't this so much better? Okay, fine. You're right. This does look a lot better.
뽀댔나야지.
It really doesn't matter. Just get on with it and deal with the princess already.
마우스 모양 바뀌었나? 그러면은? 바뀌기 전에 모양 못 봤어. 뭐야? 단검을 창밖에 던진다? 어떡할까? 일단은 그냥 지하실에 들어가 볼게. 일단 지금 공주 상태가 너무 궁금해.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down.
일단 돌아간다는 루트 했을 때 그 거위세계 쪽 공주가 나한테 말을 해줬으니까 지금 이 루트에 그릇이 없진 않을 거 아니야.
The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
그거 좋군. 자, 왼쪽에 거친 계단을 선택하는 중앙의 계단, 오른쪽에 부드러운 계단. 거친 계단. 아니야, 중립.
You step onto the center staircase. Paths wind out around you in all directions, each step branching into its own staircases, which branch into their own staircases, and so on. You aren't quite sure if yours is taking you up or down, but at the very least, it's taking you somewhere.
그건 약간 좀 잘 표현했다, 그림으로. 올라가고 있는 건지 내려가고 있는 건지 모르겠네. 이게 진짜 지금 시선으로만 봤을 때 이게 내리막인지 오르막인지 잘 좀 헷갈리죠. 그 관점에다가.
You concentrate on where you are, careful not to stray onto any of the many splitting branches that tempt you on all sides. You wouldn't want to have to backtrack to yours once you'd made a decision that took you someplace else.
이거는 약간 내려가는 것처럼 보일지도.
And so you take one careful, focused step after another. One foot down, another foot down, another after that. You lose yourself in following the correct pattern, in following what looks to be the true path, the one that cuts straight down. Or up, but no matter the direction it goes, it certainly is the most true path. You know that much.
해설자가 저거 상황
You
설명해 주는 걸
slowly
은근히
lose sense
지루해.
of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destiny. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all...
Can I help you?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems... normal.
내가 알기로 넌 이유가 있어서 갇힌 거야. 그 이유를 알고 있어?
Is this a quiz? You're the one who came down here and with a sharp, sharp knife, too. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen. Or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? Again? Have you been here before? Should we tell him? Nah, let him stew. Right, I'm telling him. Yeah, we've been here before, but we never went to the cabin. We just turned around and left. Until? It's hard to describe. Until the only thing we could see was the same cabin going on forever. And then you told us that the world ended and we died.
나는
And then
해상자를
we
더
woke up
짜증나게 하고
and
싶은
I'm pretty sure you're familiar with all the rest of it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan! Let's see if we can make even more of her.
이거 왜 두 개가 이거 왜 세 개가 한꺼번에 선택되죠, 선생님? 오류인가요? 약간 이거 뭐 누르면 뭐가 눌릴지 모르겠어가지고 이거 못 누르겠고요. 일단은 네가 늘어나는 대로 갑시다.
There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago. I don't feel like I've gotten any bigger. And what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? You would always start by stabbing her. Which her? Any of them. I don't know about you, but I'm sure glad we took that knife with us. I can't believe someone suggested you toss it out the window. Can you imagine? I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
분열시킬 거야. 이게 뭐지?
Princess, you can address me as your Royal Highness or Her Majesty. It doesn't matter. I've been down here for so long. What's the point of a name if there's no one around to use it?
None of them have names. How astute.
이번엔
I told you she was untrustworthy.
이건 서로 내려오는 길은 이상했어. 마치 내가 찢어졌다가 다시 붙은 느낌이야. 내게 무슨 일이 있었던 건지 알아?
I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you? Oh, I thought they would send something better to deal with me. If the stairs managed to chew you up,
I will devour you.
You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here? We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in.
내가 널 내보내주면 뭘 할 생각이지?
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. I just want to live my life. I'm not going to dance for you. Besides,
You already know what I'm going to do.
if you want to put an end to me, then put an end to me.
Not a single real answer. At least aside from Miss Blood and Destruction, it's infuriating, isn't it? Whose buttons are there for us to press? Whose skin is there for us to get under? Not exactly how I'd put it, but I don't disagree. There must be something we can do. Asking questions just seems to make things worse. This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. You can do this. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her.
잘못 눌렀어요. 마지막 선택지만 남았네요.
Wait, that's not right.
그러니까 잘못됐다니까 이거.
Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. All at once you charge forward, knife gleaming to slay the princess just as you strike at her bindings and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
아, 일부러 그런 선택지가 있었던 거구나. 내가 실제로 분열을 해가지고 선택지도 그렇게 돼 있는 거였구나. 분열된 선택지가 하나로 뭉쳐있던 거구나.
But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart.
해설자가 멀어졌네요.
I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
최선을 다해볼게. 걸어가네요. 마지막 그릇으로 괜찮은 그릇이었던 것 같은데? 여러 명의 자아를 딱. 하지만 그녀는 당신의 대답을 듣지 못할 것이다. 그녀는 사라졌다. 기억이 되돌아온다.
She's gone. And is that a...
자, 이번엔 바로 거울로 갈게요. 같은 내용이니까. 당신은 아무것도 아니다. 하지만 아무것도 아닐 리가 없다. 당신은 다시 집중해서 본다. 그러자 보이기 시작했다. 거울에 비치는 것 바로 너머있는 희미하고 그림자의 가연을 모아본다. 넌가요?
I think you know what I am.
거울의 한가운데에 금이 가기 시작한다. 유리에 비친 모습이 둘로 갈라진다. 균열은 점점 더 뻗어나가다가 결국 깨진 유리 파편이 되어 흩어진다. 미안해, 널 파괴하고 싶지 않아. 내가 질문을 멈추면 되는 거야? 내가 뭔가 부족할 때마다 네 조건 부서져. 그래요? 질문에 제한이 있나 보네? 아니, 뭔가 다르네. 넌 내가 공주를 죽이고 있지. 이유가 뭐야?
Because among other things, she is death itself. To rid the world of suffering, to save untold trillions from being lost forever to the cosmic wind, she must be destroyed. And despite how far you've fallen, you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
그렇다고 이제 우주에서 죽음을 없앨 순 없지. 죽음이 있으니까 삶이 의미가 있는 건데. 난 이 모든 것을 보면 안 됐던 거지. 어째서 내가 세계의 죽음을 없애게 온 거지? 죽는 게 뭐가 무서워? 난 이미 여러 번 죽었고. 난 죽음은 좋은 거라 생각해. 아니 중요하다고 생각해. 뭐가 된 거지?
If that's your belief, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you can't grasp the abject horror of dying.
그녀가 죽음을 품고 있다고 했지. 그녀는 무엇이야? 그러면은 죽음을 그릇으로 삼고 있는 이 거울세계 공주는 그녀는 죽음을 품고 있대. 그녀는 무엇이야?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can.
내가 그녀를 파괴한다면 나도 혼자가 되는 거 아니야? 내가 변화의 개념을 파괴한다면 그 이후의 삶이 죽음보다 나을겠어. 아니 애초에 죽음과 다른 게 뭐가 있어? 오히려 더 나쁘게 돼. 변화의 개념을 없앤다. 내가 그녀를 파괴하면 상황이 악화되기만 하는 거 아니야? 여기 이제 추가된 선택지 중에서 좀 골라볼게요. 이걸로 가도록 하겠습니다. 내가 변화의 개념을 파괴한다면 그 이후의 삶이 죽음보다 나을 게 있어. 아니 애초에 죽음과 다를 게 뭐가 있어? 오히려 더 나쁘게.
When I broke the cycle, I made sure that the tear was rough. You carry a part of what should be her, and she carries a part of what should be you. Things won't be as they are now, but they won't be nothing either. Besides, anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave.
그녀가 없는 세상, 그거는 해설자한테 물어봐도 의미가 없을 것 같고요. 이거는 내가 이 인물을 위해 만들어졌다고? 누가 날 만들었지? 난 무엇이지?
You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
네가 날 만들었다면 이건 알아도 난 여태껏 고문을 받는 기분이었어.
The inevitability of death is torture. I would gladly put two infinite beings through what you've been through to spare infinite lives from oblivion.
이걸 알고 있는 사람이 또 있어? 우리에 대해 알고 있는 사람이 있어? 난 신이 되고 싶지 않아. 난 나이고 싶어. 이걸 알고 있는 사람이 또 있어? 우리에 대해 알고 있는 사람이 있어? 가 돌아갈게.
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
난 신이 되고 싶지 않아. 난 나이고 싶어.
You are you. And if you would let everything work the way it was supposed to, you never would have woken up to the reality of your true nature. There's no accounting for free will.
넌 무엇이지? 나와 비슷한 존재야? 아 이게 선택지가 많아가지고 조금 선택이 좀 애가 먹네요.
Oh, I'm nothing like you.
근데 또 그게 이 게임의 매력이죠.
I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
좀 중요한 거 또 없나? 공주가 내 관점대로 변화하는 능력이 있다면 그럼 공주를 아주 작은 존재로 생각하면 되는 거 아니야?
As you are now, you won't be able to will her into anything. You don't work the way a living being does. Not anymore. And as you were before, you couldn't be trusted with the knowledge of what she is. No one could be trusted with that knowledge. Intrusive thoughts have a way of creeping in and ruining everything. It's why I had to die.
편인 인감을 그녀를 판다. 난 그녀를 죽이지 않을 거야. 네가 완전히 죽기 전에 알려주고 싶었어. 어떻게 할지 아직 결정하지 않았어. 이 모든 것에 대한 그녀의 생각을 알아야겠어. 어떻게 할지 모르겠어로 갈게요. 아직은.
I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
마지막 유리 파편이 깨지자 당신은 새로운 깨달음을 얻는다. 해설자의 말대로 당신은 정막이다. 새로 태동하기 시작한 무한한 신. 그리고 이제 깨어날 시간이다. 이 모든 것이 당신이다. 오두막으로 한다. 마지막으로 한다. 당신은 모든 것이 심장부에 도착하지만 그곳에는 마지막 그릇이 없다. 아무것도 보이지 않는다.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
메아리에 대해 알아? 우리의 대화를 들었어.
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
이제 무슨 일이 일어나지?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
좀 어려운 질문이네요. 아직 해결하지 못한 이야기가 너무 많아. 정말 그냥 떠나도 되는 거야? 이 모든 것에 대해 할 말 없어? 왜 나만 이 모든 책임지는 거야? 대화로 해결해보자. 아직 묻고 싶은 게 너무 많아. 결정하기 전에 난 답을 알아야겠어. 내가 널 내보내주면 세계는 영원히 끝장이야. 그럴 순 없어. 내가 뭘 하든 넌 이렇게 될 운명이었는데 그럼 내가 지금껏 한 일에 대한 의미가 있긴 해? 이 순간까지 내가 내려온 결정들의 의미가 있긴 한 거야. 널 파괴하거나 내보내주는 것 말고도 분명 다른 방법이 있을 거야. 이렇게 될 거라고 내가 이젠 우리가 이곳을 떠날 시간이야. 하지만 어디로 갈지 어떻게 잘 모르겠어. 맨 마지막 이걸로 말할게요.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final peace lies with you.
자신을 해방시킨다. 당신은 당신의 내면으로 떨어진다. 고대 생명체의 몸이 동반에서 깨어나고 동면에서 깨어나고 당신은 한때 느끼지 못했던 팔다리 감각을 느낀다. 그녀를 제외한 이곳의 모든 것이 당신이다. 당신은 우주적인 규모의 날개를 느낀다. 그러나 유한한 땅에 묶여 뒤틀리고 묶여져 있다. 당신은 구성체가 당신에게 좁혀져 오는 것을 느낀다. 당신의 무한한 몸을 유한하게 만들려고 하고 당신은 저항한다. 그러나 이뤄낼 수 없다.
I love you.
공주의 손을 잡는다. 일순간 밀리지 않던 장벽이 한꺼번에 부서진다. 당신은 자유롭다. 그녀도 함께한다.
It's magnificent.
이 절대적인 현실을 표현할 단어도 생각도 존재하지 않는다. 아마 마지막일 것 같은데 한번 마지막으로 한번 물어보긴 할까요? 이제 어떻게 되나?
Everything. Just like it always has been. And just like it always will be.
무한을 향해 발을 내딛는다. 당신과 그녀는 수천 번의 밤과 수천 번의 낮을 향해 걸어간다. 그 밤과 낮은 수천 번의 밤과 낮을 품고 있다. 당신은 존재한다. 그리고 이해한다. 지금까지 그래왔고 앞으로도 그럴 테다. 당신의 본질은 갈등을 품고 있지만 둘은 결코 떨어지지 않을 것이다. 두려움을 모른 채 살아갈 것이다. 당신과 공주는 마침내 집에 도착한다. 클릭을 해야 넘어가네요. 플레이 해주셔서 감사합니다. 감사의 표시로 당신을 위한 음악 플레이리스트를 준비했습니다. 스크린샷을 찍고 싶으시면 H를 눌러 UI를 숨기세요. OST? 잠깐만 이상한 아니 인터넷 사이트를 켜면 어떡해요 갑자기. 메인 메뉴로 돌아가기. 와. 이거 대기화면 중간에 갑자기 공주 확 튀어나오니까 그거 놀라지 마세요. 난 경고했어. 일단은 이렇게 슬레이더프린세스라는 게임 해봤는데 제가 지금까지 정말 유튜브에서는 100가지가 넘는 100가지 가까이 되는 그렇게 게임을 해오면서 이 정도로 철학적이면서 뭔가 되게 생각할 게 너무 많아서 머리 아팠을 정도로 이 정도로 철학적인 작품은 진짜 없었던 것 같아요. 진짜 탑이네요. 이거는 근데 그렇다 보니까 너무 생각할 게 많다 보니까 뭐 드립이든 뭐든 막 이런 거 할 때가 아니고 일단 나조차도 정확히 약간 좀 게임 내용을 이 대사 내용을 이해하지 못했을 확률이 높다고 생각을 하고 그리고 만약에 내가 이해를 했다고 하고 넘어간 친구들도 제대로 100% 이해한 건 아닐 거예요 아마. 이게 그렇다 보니까 약간 좀 머리를 너무 많이 좀 굴리다 보니까 몇 시간 동안 이렇게 진행을 하면서 후반 가선 좀 지친감이 없지 않아 있긴 했었는데 근데 정말 이런 류를 정말 좋아하시는 분들은 진짜 너무 좋아할 것 같은 그런 작품이네요. 이거 스팀에서 제 기억에 19,500원인가 하던 걸로 알고 있는데 작품의 퀄리티를 봤을 때는 충분히 합당한 가격인 것 같아요. 물론 호불호는 좀 갈릴 수 있을 것 같아. 약간 좀 이런 진지하고 좀 철학적인 내용을 좀 안 좋아하시는 분들은 좀 호불호가 좀 많이 갈릴 것 같은데 아무튼 아마 저도 좀 몇 가지의 엔딩을 좀 보고 몇 가지의 그릇을 준비를 했지만은 아마 여러 그릇이 있을 것 같아요. 선택지의 양으로 봤을 때는 아마 내가 본 거는 전체의 3분의 1 정도일 것 같은? 되게 여러 가지가 있을 것 같아요. 3분의 1도 안 될 수도 있어. 근데 요새 술을 많이 마셔가지고 가뜩이나 약간 좀 능지가 떨어지고 있는 참이라 말도 잘 못하고 요새 막 그러는데 그 타이밍에 약간 좀 이 게임을 한 거는 좀 아쉽긴 한데 뭐 황드라가 되자마자 거의 빠르게 치고 싶어가지고 가져온 거라 타이밍상 그거는 뭐 어쩔 수 없었던 것 같고, 그러면은 지금까지 청취 또는 시청해주신 여러분들 정말 감사하고요. 재밌게 보셨다면 구독과 좋아요. 나 근데 이 멘트 평소에 안 했는데 아니야, 하지 말자. 그냥 저는 다음 영상에서 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 그냥 재밌게 봐주셨으면 그냥 그걸로 저는 만족합니다. 저는 그러면은 다음 영상에서 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 유바!